Okay, so let me start by thanking Mr. Girish Dutt Shukla here, who has come all the way from Delhi to be with us today. Thank you so much, Girish.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's lovely to meet everyone.
So Girish here discovered his love for reading and writing in the year 2009 when he had a liver transplant. Those 2 years of convalescing from the surgery were pivotal in his discovery that he could read, he loved reading, and he could write as well. In the year 2013, he finished his engineering and got a job. And along with doing a job, this superhero started writing his first book. 2017 was the time when he finished his first book and self-published it. And then comes Cold-Blooded Love, the psychological thriller that we all are here to discuss. It's a page-turner, it's gripping, it's engaging, and it had me on tenterhooks for the past 2-3 days. Right, and the climax, oh God, it'll flip you guys. So thank you so much, Girish. We thoroughly enjoyed the book.
Thank you so much. I'm happy that people are enjoying the book. That's what as authors you like to hear from people who read the book.
So Girish, tell me something. What made you zero in on this genre, psychological thriller, for your second book?
So I have always been fascinated by psychology. As a child, I loved watching serial killer documentaries. I enjoyed that, and over time, this love only increased. And then when I was spending my time in the hospital and at home, I started reading a lot of psychological thrillers. Started watching a lot of movies in the genre, and that is how when I knew you have to write a psychological thriller. And so I would say the research started when I started reading these books from these genres, and over a period of time, I think the ideas started coming into my mind, and then eventually I wrote this book in 2020.
So it was more like osmosis, like you imbibed so much of the thriller that you thought that you could write it, and you did such a splendid job. Yeah. So tell me something, Girish. Like as a man, you've done such great justice to Ziva, the protagonist. You have portrayed her so well, and she's a female. So how did you do that? Like how could you divulge into the female psychology so well that you wrote Ziva impeccably?
So, I am the youngest in my family, and I have 4 elder sisters. So I spent all my time surrounded by females in my house. So I think talking to them sharing their problems with me, allowed me to develop this character so well. Plus, the psychological thriller that I've read, the main protagonist there is always a female. So I think that also helped. So it was a combination of spending time with my sisters in the house and reading those psychological thrillers.
Right. So you should pen down a tribute to your sisters also for the success of your book, right? Yeah. So my next question would be regarding manifestations. While reading your book, I observed that you made lots of references to manifesting and the law of attraction. So do you, as a person, in real life, do you actually believe in all of that, law of attraction, attracting what you want, what you desire, manifesting it?
I do. I think I do because, like, it's a very small example, but there was this client which I really wanted to work on, and this was in the year 2017, and I used to do this meditation to get that client, and eventually I got that client in, I think, after a week I started doing this law of attraction.
After a week of doing meditation, focusing on getting the client.
Focusing on that client itself. That happened. And also there's this platform called Mind Valley. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
Mind Valley.
Yeah, and a lot of those meditations are concentrated on law of attraction. So I became a member of that platform, and I've explored a lot of meditations focused on law of attraction. And I think it doesn't harm you in any way. It helps you it makes you more positive after you've done the meditation. So there's no harm. I'm having like the quantum of results that I want haven't come yet. But I hope they will with time to come.
But one step at a time. That you landed a huge client. That was your dream, and it came true after 1 week of merely manifesting. For it, meditating upon it and manifesting it. So that's a big thing. Yeah. Okay. So, Girish, tell me something. Like, while reading the book, there's this phase when Ziva undergoes, this yearning for motherhood and how she's not able to conceive, and that whole stretch that you've covered in the book of her inability to conceive and the trauma, the sheer harrowing phase that she goes through. You have written it down so well, that it would be surprising for any reader to know that you are a man. Like you've delved so deep into that trauma of the the incapacitating feeling of a woman that when she's not able to conceive. So tell us about it. Like, how could you delve so deep into a woman's psychology?
So I think because of my experiences in the hospital when I had that liver transplant, I was spending a lot of time in the hospital, and patients came there for different reasons.
Right.
And at times you would interact with them because you are in the same boat as they are. So I think that conversations helped. Plus, one of my sisters had an issue with conceiving. So that seeing her go through that time also helped in shaping up Ziva's despondency in the way that I've been able to do.
Yes.
So all of these experiences, I think, helped me write.
Right. So another thing, Girish, like your first book, I haven't read that one, but I'm sure it must be good. Right. You self-published it. But the second one you published with such a great publication house. Rupa Publications is one of those prestigious houses in the country. So tell me, how did you secure that? Was it like a struggle or was it easy? How did that happen?
Getting the first book out was a real struggle because I wanted a traditional publisher,
Right.
even for the first book. And I think I wasted around 3 years trying to get a traditional publisher. That did not happen eventually, and then I self-published it during COVID because everyone was pivoting towards self-publishing because anyway people were buying from Amazon.
It was quite a trend.
They weren't going to the bookstore to buy books.
Yes.
And with respect to the second book, I feel the plot is also very taut in the sense the book is very tightly written, I feel. And initially I reached out to literary agents, but all of them said no to representing it because they said only non-fiction is working in India.
Okay.
Fiction isn't working as well.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
If you see, the majority of the books that get published by traditional publishers are non-fiction. Those
Okay.
aren't fiction books.
Okay, I don't know about the...
Uh-huh.
No. Oh yes, so do
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Yes.
So that is the trend in India. And then when I reached out to publishers through following the guidelines that they mentioned on their website, Rupa gave a contact, and a few other were also interested, but among them Rupa was the better one for me. So their contact was also more friendly for the author, so I eventually zeroed on Rupa. And I think they got the book out in a year after I signed the contract.
Wow.
Took them a year to polish it, to edit it, and to get it.
Right. So it's a work of patience.
It takes a lot of patience.
Yeah.
And the thing is, writing isn't even the hard part. Selling is the hardest.
Right.
Convincing people that you will enjoy this book is the hardest part.
Absolutely. I so agree with you on that. So tell me, like, have you been able to achieve what you wanted with this book so far?
It is picking up, definitely. Like you guys, most of you have read the book and have said good things about the book. So that it is definitely picking up. And honestly, I was surprised that a lot of people are picking the book from the bookstores. I imagined that they would be picking it from Amazon, but Amazon sales, I think, are equivalent to what people are buying from the bookstore or the airport. Like, I get messages from people on Instagram who picked the book at the airport or a bookstore, telling them how much they enjoyed the book. So that is very refreshing. That did not happen with the first book because it was only available on Amazon.
Right.
So
So tell me something, Girish, like having a literary agent, it served no purpose for you in the publication of this book?
no, not in this book. Nothing.
So that breaks a huge myth for like blooming writers, because we always feel that you have to go through a literary agent. However, you published it all on your own. You reached out to Rupa on your own and you did everything on your own, which is commendable.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you on that. Yes. So tell me something. Now, this is a very gender-based question. Oh, okay. थोड़ा सा. Yeah. Okay. So So Girish, tell me something. While reading the book, something just hit me. I realized that I've read so many psychological thrillers, and all of the protagonists in these books, they're schizophrenic, they're pathological, and they're women. I mean, it just struck me. I said, why? Like every single thriller, psychological thriller I read, it's the schizophrenic character would always be a woman. Why this discrimination? Come on.
My first book, the person with a mental health disorder is a young boy. So
Okay, that's an exception. That's an exception because invariably, you take Silent Patient.
Yeah.
We've all, most of us have read that, right? You take the Maidens. You take Girl on the Train. You take Woman in the Window. Whatever. I might be getting the titles wrong. Yes. So why are females targeted? It's crazy. It's like we are being put under a spotlight. That okay. It's a woman has to be schizophrenic, a woman has to be pathological, but men are perfect.
I think because
That's a good one. That's a good
I think because
Sorry.
I think because I've also read all these books, it somehow got imbibed in my psyche. Ki the pathological liar has to be a woman. Probably it is that. But I have no idea. So why women are being portrayed in such light?
But Girish, let me tell you now. This is like you have to make it a man in the next movie, in the next book.
It is a man. It is a man.
It's a man.
It's a man.
So his third book is. You've started working on your third book. Wow. And the premise would be the same.
It's a murder mystery. It is not much of a psychological thriller, but a murder mystery, wherein there is a detective which I want to like how Agatha Christie books are.
Yeah.
The detective is common in all the books. I want to develop that detective as a common and all in future books as well.
That's lovely. So you plan on writing a series of books?
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. So Girish, my last question to you: any tip or tricks you would like to share with budding authors, budding writers, people who aspire to be a writer? In your experience, what would you like to tell us?
I think read as much as you can, because reading is one thing which has helped me tremendously to write the way I've been able to write. And don't compromise on the writing. Like if the book is good, it might take some time for it to pick up, but if the quality of the writing is good, it will pick up. Like I'll give you an example. Colleen Hoover
Yes.
has been writing for the last 15 years, but her book started selling well only in the last 2 to 3 years.
Oh, I did not know that. I didn't know that she's been writing for the past 15 years.
Like
That
10,
comes as a
10,
surprise.
15 years. And she's written a lot of books.
Okay.
And but she started getting main media attention only in the last 2 to 3 years. So if your art is good, eventually it will happen. It might take longer, but and also I feel marketing the book is also equally important.
Yes.
Because if people don't know about the book, it does not matter how well you've written it, people will not pick it up. So
That is so true. That is so true. So thank you so much, Girish, for such insightful answers. Yes, cold-blooded love. Yes. So how did you come by the title? What made you zero in on this?
So initially the title was The Wine is Dead.
The wine is dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you see the cover has a wine glass which is broken. So the title was Wine is Dead.
Please. Sorry.
But people from Rupa said this title does not make a lot of sense. Like my main narrator said, the title is a little abstract.
Yes.
But my idea was with The Wine is Dead, that the flavor of wine is dead. Because if you've read the book, you see Ziva drinks wine
Yes.
a lot all the time. Yeah, all the time. So that was my idea. Ki the flavor of the wine is dead. That is why the title is The Wine is Dead.
Yes.
But then Rupa people said ki the title is a little abstract. Does not make a lot of sense. Does not make a lot of sense. So then I thought cold-blooded murder, and that is why like I replaced murder with love. That is because when you murder someone, it is usually cold-blooded.
So is Ziva based on a real life person like, or just aspects of her are based on some person like a proclivity towards drinking, all these characteristics. Do you know someone like that?
Not really. I wouldn't want to know such a person, honestly.
I'm sure you would. Yes, that's true.
So did you not love your old protagonist? Because the thing I wouldn't.
See, I like the aspect of her liking to being alone, aloof, is something which is I am as a person. Like, I'm an introvert. For me, doing this interaction is very hard, honestly, because for the introverted nature in me is.
Seems to be an introvert.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for making the effort, bringing yourself out of the introverted.
Yeah. So I think only that aspect is common with me, but other aspects of her binging on wine, snooping on her neighbors, or the other thing that she does is something like I would not know any person who would have done such a thing.
So another question, Girish. As a writer, when I send my articles to be published and I get the approval. So when the articles are finally published, I read them and half of the content is not there, and they've changed the title of the article, and I feel very unhappy and disappointed with it. So did the same thing happen with you? Because I read in your acknowledgement that large pieces of your book, they were edited out.
So, not in this book.
Okay.
The editor had valid questions which needed answering.
Okay.
So there were quite a few plot holes when I sent the draft to Rupa, and they wanted clear answers to each of those plot holes.
Okay.
So I kind of made the plot a lot tighter when I answered those questions, and with respect to editing or cutting stuff from the book,
Yeah.
things which did not make sense have been cut out.
Okay.
But not a whole lot.
Okay.
Like, I would say probably 2,500 words have been cut out, but that's
Right.
not a lot. Because people usually what publishers do, they want a book which is under 300 pages. Like,
Okay.
unless you are an established author, then they would be happy to publish a
Big
thicker
books.
book.
Yes.
But if you're a new author, if this is your second book, then they want a smaller, lighter book.
And Girish, was your family supportive of you becoming a full-time writer? And what? Because writing is something I think traditionally frowned upon by Indian families. They would want their sons and daughters to be doctors, engineers, officers. But if you,
It's not taken as very productive.
it's frowned upon by families. So did you have that struggle with your family?
Only with my father. He did not know as to what I was doing. Half of the time, he still doesn't understand what am I doing, to be honest. And I think his worry comes from the fact whether I'm making enough money. I think that is the only.
I think it's one more thing. You said he has done engineering as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So his father must be like, you have to pursue that when you didn't check.
Yeah. So he tells me if I was still an engineer, I would be making such an amount by now, because I would have
Absolutely.
completed 10 years in that field.
Yes.
But I'm very strong in when I take a decision, then I follow through with it. So his advice, of course, I listen to him, but eventually it has to be my decision, because it is my life at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So any regrets of having chosen writing over engineering?
None. Anyway, I did not understand engineering a lot.
Okay.
It was because everyone in my from where I in Kanpur at the time, there were only 2-3 options. Either you become a CA, or you become an engineer, or you become a doctor. So I chose engineering because it was the